Australia, Singapore, Middle East, and Africa besides of India. His patron and founding member of CSI Ghaziabad chapter and has been its treasurer, vice chairman, and chairman. Mr. Saurabh Agrawal always mentoring and motivating us to be active and innovative even in COVID-19 situation. Ghaziabad chapter continuously conducting webinars. In his guidance, chapter first time conducted the summer internship program of 8 weeks in machine learning and IoT for BTech and MCA students. Mr. Agrawal vast global experience and knowledge of IT business makes him a perfect speaker to start today's session. Now I do request Mr. Agrawal to kindly enrich us by sharing your words. Mr. Agrawal.
Thank you, Dr. Tomar. And I think all credit for whatever we are doing as a chapter, Ghaziabad chapter this year during difficult times, all credit goes to you. Under your able leadership, no chapter has been organizing several webinars for the benefit of its members. And what is interesting is that the range of topics is very, very wide, from technical to non-technical, from social to the impact of pandemic. You're making your sessions very varied and comprehensive. Uh, and I would also like to welcome Professor R.K. Vyas and Professor H.S. Sharma to this session. Now I'll take a few minutes to introduce the topic or to share my experience or my understanding of this topic. Though I've been working in technical field for so long, but my understanding of AI is very different. I say it is very limited. But what is different? Maybe I'll share in few words. And whenever I hear about AI, nowadays, and it is so common, everyone knows, a kid knows AI because it's in his camera. It says it's an AI-enabled camera, phone camera. But I am taken back to my college days whenever I hear about AI. And at that time, and the years after that, AI was a theoretical subject. And we never expected it to become a reality so soon, or we never knew whether it will ever become a reality. No, there's a theory going on. There's some concept called AI will come at some time, and it will help in our day-to-day lives, or it will help science. Uh, but I think it's my personal opinion, and I have do some lot of observations or self research, if I would say that. But for me, I think this all changed with the arrival of smartphones somewhere in 2007, when we first saw the iPhone. And it was only after that that the AI reached the masses from the classes. After iPhone and Samsung, and then everyone else brought out smartphones, and then the AI term and its benefits did reach the masses after that. We have had several discussions on the usage of smartphones and its benefits or vices and why it is harmful, what is good about it. That we have discussed in so many webinars, so many sessions, there have been so many seminars and panel discussions on that. So I'll not go into that. But there's so much of AI in our lives today, probably more than we want, or probably more than what we are prepared for. So for our phones, India had its first experience with the mobile phones in late 95. And so that we had phones. Then those phones became smartphones. And then smartphones got cameras. And then those cameras started coming with multiple lenses. And now those cameras come with artificial intelligence. So and it can it knows when you are smiling, it knows where's your nose, it knows where's your ear, what you are doing. So your camera can recognize it's more than biometrics. And after every 2 to 3 years, I become so stressed out because I have to replace my old phone and I want a new phone in return. But by that time, in last 2 3 years, sizes of phone on the screen has increased by 2 to 3 inches. I want my phone to be a phone. I want a decent size phone, not a laptop in my pocket. And I can't find a phone. It's become so stressing for me. And my son knows it, and we know it, and he keeps searching a decent size, which is under 5 inches or which is under 6 inches for me, because I want just a phone and a phone. What they force me to take, the phone companies, is a phone, a camera, a watch, an alarm clock, a TV remote, a laptop, a tablet, all in one. So that is why that is my take on impact of artificial intelligence in certain ways. Uh, and we know we'll soon see a thermometer in a smartphone. We'll soon see a glucometer to take our sugar levels and so many related devices inside our phone. Uh, uh, so I think this was just a very small perspective of AI, and I'm sure whatever Professor Sharma is going to speak about it will be very different, a very advanced level, and something which we will be keen to learn and listen to him. What I said was a more personal and a social impact of AI, how it is impacting our lives. Uh, for most, it is good. For some, it is intruding. It is taking up personal spaces. So when we talk about future of AI, frankly, I don't know now what is the future of AI. Now, we can't even imagine where it will take us. Uh, the way we are progressing on the scientific development, on the research in this area, I don't know where the future would be, and I'll be keen to hear from Professor Sharma because he has a wealth of knowledge and he keeps researching and he has in-depth understanding of the topic. But then, because I don't want to create my head over something that has made my life easier but complicated also. It has made us a little bit futuristic but dependent on technology also. So thank you. I think that's what I had to share. Uh, Back to you, Professor Thomas.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. So, sir has given a very good overview about the technology because technology having certain pros and cons. I mean, especially for the AI. And he started his discussion from the mobile set. Mobile set initially was a very small device, and today, perhaps it is powerful more than your a computer available in the space. No doubt, AI is having a lot of, pros and cons, especially for the users. So we are hopeful that Mr. Sharma will put again light on all this. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. So second, our guest of honor, Mr. Arvind Sharma, although Mr. Arvind Sharma is not with us, he is busy somewhere else due to his personal work, but his blessings are always with us. Now, I would request our chief guest and welcome our chief guest, Mr. R.K. Vyas. I introduce today Mr. R.K. Vyas as the chief guest for this webinar. Mr. Vyas, President Computer Society of India, backed by experience of 7 years in chapter managing committee, 3 years as regional student coordinator, region first, and 7 years of experience as elected member of the National Executive Committee. His target is of significant growth in student professionals and life members. Mr. Vyas has been working in IT and computer field for more than 30 years and have been instrumental dissipating the knowledge of computers at various forms including CSI. Mr. Vyas worked in National Informatics Centers Delhi from 1982 to 1986 and was part of the team of the Asia 82 Games, probably first networking project in India. He worked in University of Delhi since 1986 involving in teaching, professional training, procurement, installation, and of the computer hardware and software in the university. Mr. Vyas is the fellow member of Institutional of Electronics and Telecommunication Engineering, Senior Life Member of Computer Society of India, Life Member of ISTE, Life Member Indian Science Congress Association. Now, I would request Mr. Vyas to say a few words to inspire us. So, over to Mr. Vyas.
Good evening, everyone. It's my pleasure to be here amongst you all in the Ghaziabad chapter, or the student branch of the youngest student branch of the Ghaziabad chapter, GIM, which we have inaugurated, I think, around 15-20 days back. Association, I think I must thank Dr. Tomar, who has given me an opportunity to talk to this, my dear friend Saurabh Agarwal ji, and our own very senior person and senior member, Professor H.S. Sharma ji, who is with us in Ghaziabad chapter. He was with us in Delhi chapter. And also, I must inform you that we had a long, myself and Dr. Sharma has a long association, because during my MTech course, I was junior to Professor Sharma, and we used to have very good time during those periods by talking to the management of IIT for various kind of issues regarding the course, and we had really troubled them lot together at that time. And I hope with those things, we were really fruitful days. And since then, I had a long association and long blessings with Professor Sharma. He is much senior to me, and many more things I have shared with him at various platforms in IET and Computer Society of India. I see in the list of participants, one of my very good friends from Computer Society of India, Mr. Rangaraj Gopal from Coimbatore, is also attending this session. I must welcome Mr. Rangaraj Gopal. Again, he was with us in the XCOM for a number of years, and we have really enjoyed, and he was the chapter chairman of Coimbatore chapter also at that time. And still we have got a long association, and we are in touch with each other at various occasions during the difficult times which we face in the day-to-day activity of the executive committee. Ghaziabad chapter, I think I have got an association since inception, because when Ghaziabad chapter was carved from the Delhi chapter, I was honorary secretary of Delhi chapter at that time. And I recall the day one of the inception of the Ghaziabad chapter at ITS Ghaziabad, and we were all there. And Piyush Goyal ji, Vijay Rastogi ji, Saurabh Agarwal ji, Anil ji Garg, Dr. Sharma, and many other persons were present there during that occasion, and that was really good. And I feel that that inception of Ghaziabad chapter and the persons who are leading the Ghaziabad chapter since that day, including the current chairman, Dr. R.P.S. Tomar, has taken Ghaziabad chapter to good heights. And the activities which are being conducted by Ghaziabad chapter and its student branches are really enormous. And they all conduct activities on various latest topics of IT. As today's topic also we have the computer cognitivity and artificial intelligence. Well, Saurabh says that AI was really a theoretical paper, and I also endorsed in 86, 87 when we did MTech. It was really a theoretical paper, and we used to try to miss that classes at times, because it was really difficult to say that traveling salesman problem and those problem of putting those on the packets, various kind of things, and all very difficult at those times. And so theoretical it was that we used to say why it is being taught. But today, as Saurabh has given a lot of examples, that without artificial intelligence or without the concepts of AI, many of the things in computers, in the networks, or in the our mobiles, etc., may not be even thought about. And today, as you see, that data mining concept using artificial intelligence, where once you just log in to any of the sites and ask for your airline's reservation or booking even for your food habits or something like that. After some time, you'll get in on your own web portal or on your sites, on your mobiles, etc. You see a lot of advertisements being given to you. This intelligence of yours is being stored by them, and they know your pattern of living. Where do you fly in a particular season? Where do you try to live during your vacations? What do you like in eating? What are your topics of learning, day-to-day education? And how you are connected to various industrial professionals and academic professionals. These all intelligence which you feed, that has been stored, that has been churned, and obviously they have been responded. And besides this, there are many other things which artificial intelligence gives us. Professor Sharma, who has been working in this area since long, I must say that he is a very senior person, but his zeal of learning the things and zeal of having things to be implemented in the professional and academic manner is very high. And that is why we always say he is really not only a professional, he is a learner of new things and implementer of new things. And he tells us how to work for those areas where the future technologies will take shape. And I must say, congratulate Ghaziabad chapter and the chairman, Dr. Tomar, that they have called Professor Sharma to give a very interesting talk to the young students of the GIMS Greater Noida. I always say Rohini because Rohini is nearby. GIMS Greater Noida, and other young faculty members and other members of the Computer Society of India who have joined today for this activity. With these words, I once again thank you all, and thanks to for giving me an opportunity to talk to you. Thank you very much. Welcome.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Your inspiration gives us a new energy for enthusiasm to work with full stream in coming days for chapter, and we'll be seeking your advice time to time. Thank you very much, sir. Now is the time to welcome, but before that I would like to welcome Mr. Ranga Rajgopalan, Chairman of Computer Chapter. So welcome, sir. Now is the time to welcome and introduce Professor H.S. Sharma, keynote speaker for today's webinar. Professor H.S. Sharma is the renowned personality with more than 52 years of experience in academics, public and private sector companies, defense, publications, etc. He has written over 60 books and close to 200 papers and articles. His area of interest including telecommunication, IT management, cognitive science and human reasoning. He is ex-Vice Chancellor of Mewar University and currently Vice Chancellor of Himalayan University. He is the former National President of IETE and recipient of CSI IT Excellence Award 2014. I request Professor Sharma kindly enrich us with your precious knowledge. Over to Mr. H.S. Sharma. Sir.
Thank you, sir. Professor Vyas, Shri Rangaraji, Shri Saurabh Agrawalji, Shri Arvind Sharmaji, our distinguished participants from GIMS. I may not know everybody's name, but it's always excitement to be among the students, because that's the life which most enriches. It's a great pleasure to be with all of you. Hyderabad, of course, in CSI's home, part of the started in Delhi. Actually, shifted to Hyderabad to 70 number 7.
Some interruption, sir.
Is voice over or not?
It is breaking in between. Hello.
I'm in Noida at the moment. I'm in Arunachal Pradesh, so maybe signals slightly weak here, quite unstable. Shall I continue?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
In the contact program. AI was being taught there, and I was interested at that time in knowing why the behavior of the human being happens. There were few incidents that happened in the lives in today's recognized psychological warfare. I saw those incidents, I thought were state. Am I being listened or not? Sir, is my
It is
voice
audible.
coming?
Yeah, it is coming. It is coming.
Audible. Fine. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you. And that origin of the cognition and topic we discussed today. In fact, I started looking at the model of brain also mind, model of operating the solution. My first paper I remember was Robo, the artificial human being. Robo, the artificial human being, where I tried to compare the structure of the computer with the human being and the brain mind structure. That was a part of it. Please.
Is my screen visible to everyone?
Yeah, it is
Yes.
visible.
Okay, thank you so much, sir.
Saurabh okay. So it took time that interest into this. Why I took this topic for discussion? First, I must thank Dr. Sommer. The topic of that day for this detoxification of the digital detoxification. In fact, just a week before the FDP going in Professor Roda's department, I think, and I made a comment at that time that this excess of
Is my screen visible?
Yes, Abid sir.
Okay.
Please, you know. Hello.
Yes, sir, we
No, we
can
can't
hear
hear
you.
you.
Uh,
No, we can't
Not
hear him
able
properly.
yeah, we can't hear you
Not able
properly.
to see? Not able to listen properly?
No, no.
Shall I start speaking on mic?
No, no, there's a disturbance. The bandwidth issue.
Yes, sir. Shall I use a mobile phone?
Yeah, sure, sir.
Is it okay now?
No.
Not yet?
Mhm.
So some bandwidth issue is there, I think. That's why the things are not clear.
The voice is not clear or not clear?
Voice.
Right. Okay.
Sir, I would suggest that if you can
Let's
turn off your
try
video so that
mobile. My video? Fine?
बंद करो उसको बंद करो बंद करो
Is the voice coming now or not?
Better. Slightly better.
It's better now?
No,
Right.
same.
Okay. Well, I will go on the same. 1 second, please.
क्यों रो रही है बता किसने मारा तुझे
I'll use the mobile. G.
Hello.
Hello, Saurabh ji. Is the voice coming or not coming?
yes, sir, it's better.
Hello.
Yes, sir, it's better.
It's better. Let me.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So basically, my interest in artificial intelligence started when we were doing our MTech itself. But there was a greater reason for it. At that time, I was working electronic warfare. And for me, the use of intelligence in the computer systems was very great importance. Of very great importance. Is the voice coming now? Is the voice coming now?
Yes, sir.
I can use my mobile for speaking if you want. I can use my mobile for speaking if you want.
Sir, I would suggest that if you can disconnect from one device, like you are using from two devices, so आप laptop से हटा दीजिए, like you can leave the meeting.
Because of the voice, I have just connected to the mobile. If you think my mobile voice is okay, I will continue with the mobile.
Yes, sir, mobile voice is totally all right.
Perfectly fine. So I'll use it for this and you can continue using this one. I have switched off my video and mobile both from the PC. Okay?
Okay, sure, sir.
Right. So my interest in artificial intelligence went in the days when I was doing my MTech, and by chance at that time I was in DRDO and I was involved in design of the electronic warfare equipment. And the intelligence into the system was of great importance at that time. But in recent times, 3 events have taken place. First, if you recall, the Deep Blue computer defeated the world chess champion in chess. Second one, recent Armenia-Azerbaijan warfare. The kamikaze UAVs, which is basically the drones, literally destroyed the very good fighting machinery of Armenia. And the third very important part is that we in our system now are seeing that we have to select telecom where our intelligence, our databases will not be stolen by the countries like China
and hence protect ourselves because they have artificial devices put into the hardware and software firmware which is stealing information from the network. It was with these three that I thought we must discuss what are the possibilities in the artificial intelligence. As Saurabhji rightly said, computers have become now the inseparable part. The mobile is a moving computer. As Thomas also said, and Professor Vyas also said, that today's mobiles are as good as advanced computers in our hands, and there is nothing which is hidden from the cameras of the various devices around us. Keeping these aspects in mind, and also a very great danger which lies ahead of us is that, like recently, the government has to stop nearly 200 apps of Chinese origin. A situation may arise when, due to the war conditions prevailing in the world around, the networks and all others may get attacked, and we will have to think of solutions wherein the life can be sustained and maintained in the normal way despite all the dangers coming from the sides. Therefore, the objective of discussion of today's computer cognition and future of AI is threefold. First, we must understand what is happening in the world around us. Second, there are certain strengths in Indians which are not elsewhere easily, because our Maharishi, yogis could look into the future, could find out the unknown without having any material devices, and were able to sustain this world and give us the knowledge of Vedas and Upanishads and whatnot. Can we rely upon that in case the likely dangers from the modern warfare and things are arising and our life may be put into danger? It is in this part that we are wanting to look at the future of AI, and obviously I expect that it will generate a lot of research ideas for our youth, and I see large number of students in our panel at this moment. So it's probably a great idea for future research areas also. Keeping that for computer cognition and AI, can you go to the next slide, please? In the next slide, basically talks about the predictions which were made in 2019-20. Previous one, please. The 2019-20, the Gartner and all other research organizations had indicated a huge list of about 19 plus topics for 2019-20 for the AI development, which included natural language processing, speech recognition, virtual agents, machine learning, deep learning, optimized hardware, decision-making systems, robotics, and coming to the word the twin modeling. I've been trying to literally recreate the models of human beings using digital technology, cyber defense, and all others. But one which I have added in the end is the post-corona education, healthcare, and the real-life systems and solutions which will become necessary now for the mankind and for all of us in the world. Now, if we see the list, many of these have already been achieved or are in advanced stage, and work on many other areas, examine various things, how the AI can be made more useful to the mankind than a fear or a danger, as many of us feel, as I mentioned about UAVs or drones and all those type of things. Like an attack was done, and a so-called attack in Iran on a scientist with a very personalized information set. These are the dangers of AI, which future keeps for us. Next slide. Keeping these aspects in mind, now what we have ahead of us is, we are wanting to discuss is that what is the origin, evolution, where from the intelligence actually came. The topics we will take is introduction, origin, evolution, birth and growth of human being, because the intelligence actually is the attribute the living systems in general and human beings in particular, which has been copied into the machines. Look into the computers and cognition, brain-mind model as a model for future development and application areas. But one element which I have found is missing, probably Somar Saab may remember, Dr. Mathur, who was the director of ALTTC, he once made a diagram of the consciousness spectrum.
Yes, sir.
I have seen in his
I
book,
remember that.
the book. Yeah. That area, most of the world has not fully yet understood how the consciousness can become useful, right? And we will then take some issues and views which have happened with us and finally conclude. The last two lines are should have been deleted, but somehow has been. Let's go further to that. So introduction is we were discussing basic intelligence is a human capability or living system's capability to perceive, to realize, analyze, to understand, and act. This has now been simulated into the computers, and hence it has become an artificial intelligence. But important point to understand is computers are still non-human structure or Harvard structure based serial machines, whereas the brain-mind system is actually not serial. It's a serial, parallel, modular, evolutionary model of development which science has yet to fully decode, and that is the objective. Therefore, the major difference between the natural intelligence, which is in the brain mind, and in the computers or machines is that machines work on arithmetic, logic, some fuzzy logic, etc. But we do mostly the serial processing of databases, whereas the brain-mind system uses the distributed architecture, not only of the processors, but even of the control units are distributed in the human brain, and memory is distributed in the human brain. And this distributed structure gives a lot of creating capability to the brain-mind system, which makes the natural intelligence far more creative than the machine intelligence or artificial intelligence. If you recall, many of our scientists have developed not only the ANN, but the evolutionary algorithm, the genetic algorithm, in its own way, whereas the computer is a device, device is a static functional unit, whereas human is a self-regulated, living, capable of sensing, processing, integrating, and basic unit of brain-mind system. Therefore, the natural intelligence is a evolutionary model, whereas the computers and machines are more or less go modular but static systems because we have developed at various places and brought at one place and combined to give a system. Yes. So continuing on this line, if you look at the machine system, next slide. Next slide. I'll keep talking that while the computer hardware logical components using the civil evolving living notes like a in the right brain, there is the parallel and there must be. Therefore, natural intelligence is the key. It's the more useful to the mankind, it is the translation of the natural intelligence into the artificial devices, keeping the consciousness and evolving such a big mind system in our view. Next, please. Next slide. Next. Now, I would like to take it's a little flatter diagram, but it would have been difficult to this time quickly if I had put each one separately. If you see in this diagram, it starts from origin, which is a big bang, which every one of us knows, the explosion of energy. But what we both know that it was not just an explosion of energy, it was an explosion of energy and consciousness, which Indian classifies as separation of Shiva and Shakti. Shiva is seen as consciousness, Shakti is seen as the energy, and actually the energy and consciousness, which exploded together, gave birth to four levels of separation. The people, the subtle, the total, and super. These are all copied into the human being, and human body has got four levels of body: the physical body, subtle body, causal body, and supercausal body. And our mind deals with all four bodies through consciousness. If you see one diagram which is shown here in between, it is the brain, and around this we have the modular structure of mind, which is unconscious mind, subconscious mind, conscious mind, and superconscious mind, helping in various functions. And the basic unit is not just energy. It is a diagram which is shown below is the energy and consciousness known as the universal conscious energy or Param Chetan in Vedic language. Therefore, before our artificial intelligence scientists can think of emulating the human intelligence into machines, they have to recognize the basic structure human brain-mind system and its evolution as has come in terms of brain and mind at levels of unconscious, subconscious, conscious, and super. What is shown in the next diagram is the brain. On top is the left and right brain, which shows the signal processing and parallel processing, which we see further when we will develop a model of the brain for use in the laboratory. And down below is the modular structure of the lobe, the frontal lobe, the temporal lobe, the parietal lobe, occipital lobe, etc., which also form specialized functions in the human being, and this can be seen as a comparison of brain-mind model for artificial intelligence. Let us look at the next one where the human being has evolved. Little more detail because this was the evolution up to the brain-mind system, but evolution of human being is equally important to see because ultimately the structure of brain and mind is part of the next diagram. In that next diagram, we will see that from the same
Sir,
and human being.
sir, can you hear me?
Yes.
Sir, sorry to say, but I guess a few participants are facing with some voice issue. Like, can you try connecting it again because the words are not clear?
Is the mobile not coming clear?
No, the voice is not clear a bit.
Okay, shall I try the machine one?
Yes, sir, you can try it once again connecting then. Sure, sir.
I'll stop it and go to that other part. Just one. Fine. Is the voice coming now?
Yes, sir.
Are you able to listen to me?
Yes, sir, we can hear you.
Fine. Please go to the next slide. Fine. Please go to the next slide.
Sir, you have to disconnect from your mobile once.
Now, if you that is yes, I have. That is the talk which I have. Is it okay now?
Yes, sir.
Let's switch it off. Right? Okay. Now coming see
Sir, again.
after
Sir.
consciousness, what they will go as the
Sir,
mobile is
can you
still
hear
going
me?
on, right? Are you able to listen now?
Yes, sir, it's quite better.
Fine, thank you. I'm sorry, I mean, being in the Northeast slightly, I'm in no position to improve it any further. I can only do it, either go to the mobile or go to the these parts. And Saurabh-ji?
Yes, sir.
Are you saying something?
No.
Acha, okay, thank
So
you.
go ahead, sir. So there's intermittent disturbance, but I think we should be able to manage it.
So basically, if you look at it, that this explosion of energy first gave birth to the Panch Mahatattva, which are your basically solid, liquid, gas, space, and energy, which the first union of these Panch Tattvas gave birth to the cell, and cell then evolved into the higher level of beings. But all this was happening in the consciousness and energy level, which is known as Param Chetan. And one very big element, we discussed of 4 levels of existence. But in human being, there is one more element known as Kundalini instrument. It is actually the integrator of the 4 bodies, the physical, subtle, causal, and supercausal. And it is nowadays many yogic teachers talk about the nadis and chakras. It is actually the autonomous nervous system in the human body, which is the net of nerves, carries signal brain onto the from back to the brain. And this part is shown the last, right, which nervous system on top of the brain and the backbone and the extensions of the nerve to the body, which signal, which is affect the nature intelligence. So the 2 points we have so far, 4 level existence. There is consciousness and energy, and the instrument known as the Kundalini instrument. With this case, we have to move forward now to see how the nature of has reached the current point. Next slide, please. Go to the next slide.
Yes, sir.
Next slide, please. Next slide is of the human being. In fact, if you like, you can, yes, you can come to this. This is fine. So this was basically what it is showing is in the natural intelligence, apart from the energy, consciousness, and Kundalini instrument, there is also networking in the body. If you look at it, this is the Kundalini instrument emulated as a local area network of the body. There are 3 channels like we have in the computer, data controls and address bus. In the same way, we have Ida Susha, or sympathetic, parasympathetic, and parasympathetic nervous system, and we have nodes at chakras, at these round points which are shown, which basically carry the signal on to the brain and from brain to the itself as a complete network. And the top of head, the portion which is shown here, as Om is written on the board here, this is gate, this is our gateway. Rishi, Yogi, Shimuni used to come to the body using this way to go within and connect universe and using this way of so these are the important things that the diagram shows for is Yogi is connecting to the Almighty, and then there are other models which you see for the which we can use. I have tried to use diagram in case a day comes when all networks will be destroyed by attack. नहीं बच्चों मोबाइल पर दिया कनेक्ट होता है कि जो है अच्छा बच्चों को म्यूट करो तो मोबाइल को के
Sir, can you hear us? Because we are not able to, like, would you mind connecting it from your mobile again? I guess that was the only way better than the computer.
Earth, can you unmute him?
Sir, give me a minute. Sir, I'm trying, but sir has to accept the notification from their side.
He is not realizing that he has muted himself.
Yes, yes. So now,
are you able to listen, please?
hello.
Hello.
Yes, sir. It's better now. Sir, can you speak something more?
Okay, I'm the mobile.
Okay, so I'm on the mobile now. I'm on the mobile.
So if as you see this diagram, please go to the next one.
Sir, you need to leave from one device because there are two voices coming, like one after another.
Okay, I
Thank
have
you so much.
muted the computer.
Thank you so much.
Right? Right, okay, now it's okay?
Yes, sir.
So next slide, please. Basically, the essence of the whole discussion, that we are finding difficult to is that I have tried to highlight the differences. Yes, as you see here in the working system, in the human being, the signal comes from the external world through the senses, eyes, ears, nose, extrasensory perception, etc. And this signal goes to the brain-mind system. Based on our needs, values, motivation, it is modulated, and a signal for action is generated. Now, this is the natural intelligence, the way it works for the system. Next part, please. Next. Yes. Now let's look at it, the growth. The point which I want to highlight from the slides now onward is that all natural process, this is the first part here, the sperm joins the ovum, gives birth to a human cell known as the zygote. That is a single cell in the mother's womb which takes birth as a fetus in the beginning. And this fetus in the diagram which is shown in the third part here multiplies through mitosis and meiosis to give birth to various shapes and forms, finally comes into the human child form, which as the child is born after 9 months. During this process, the brain is growing, the mind is growing, and the consciousness modules are also growing in the system. That is the important point. So the key we have to understand is that if we want natural intelligence to be emulated to the machine, we have to understand it is an evolutionary model and not a modular system of the computer which is developed somewhere, joined together to give a system to us. Next, please. Go to the next slide. This is showing how the material from cell, this is a single cell, this is zygote is a singular, and then it is the genetic code, which is the code of instructions, which is basically a chemicals and proteins joined ACTG, which gives birth and which finally, if you see in the diagram next, the atoms combine to give molecules, combine to give the cells, combine to give tissues, tissues make the systems, and systems make the body. Therefore, this single cell evolves into a full-grown human body as a programmed system. That is the important point we have to understand. And during this process, the brain is evolving, the mind is evolving, and all applications required by the human being for sustenance of the life and performing the living tasks are also evolving. Therefore, if you want a human-like intelligence to be brought into the systems, we have to understand these intricacies and evolve evolutionary models of computer systems to give strength for the natural intelligence. Next, please. Next slide. Next, please go further. Right. So this is now coming back to the previous slide. Yeah, you see this is here, the brain is modular. You have here the frontal lobe, the parietal lobe, the temporal lobe, the occipital lobe here, and the control unit here, the control unit here, and the control unit here, right? And even one aspect which is not shown by me intentionally, that human heart is also a aspect of the thinking in the human being and gives feedbacks into the intelligence. But that part for the moment we can leave. We can only keep up to the brain-mind system, which can be used as a model for developing the future computers. Next, please. This is to show the role of consciousness. You see here is a model of mind. In center is the brain, in between is the mind, and these are the senses. When inputs come, the senses feed it to the mind, through the mind, they feed it to the brain, and the processing takes place. And these are the modular units of the brain, known as perceptual system, cognitive system, motor management system, memory management system, and feedback system in the brain, which make the human system work as a completely integrated modular system with distributed intelligence, with distributed structure of the brain-mind system. Next, please. The best part is it is able to perform. This is the same model of mind which is coming. I think we can go to the next since we are running short of time. We can go to the next slide. It is the same thing. It is a model of mind which has come and which is the consciousness, right? The unconscious mind, the subconscious mind, etc. Next, please. And etc. So this is where the mind and brain function together. And if you look up from the brain structure point of view, there is a brain modular structure and the mind modular structure, and two together provide the brain-mind system, right? Mind system. Next, please. In this, if you see, we have the input devices like our ear, etc. All the 5 senses plus 6 sense. We have processing units like frontal lobe, parietal, temporal, etc. And left, right brain. You see here, it is a serial functions like logic, math, reasoning, etc., which are done. And here are the parallel functions like face recognition, creativity, music, parallel processing, etc. in the right way. And left and right are joined together by this bridge in between. This is known as the corpus callosum, which is actually the aspect of Kundalini instrument known as the Sahasrara, and joins the left and right brains together and works in two places. One is the Agya Chakra, or the control center between the eyes, and control center between the two brains at the top of the brain part. Next part, please. Go to the next diagram. Now, this is the model of the brain. No, previous. Go back to the architecture model. So we have tried to develop now this. Here are the processors, distributed processors of the brain, the frontal lobe, temporal lobe, occipital, parietal lobe, etc. And if you will go back to the books of anatomy, you will find frontal lobe does the logic functions, etc. Temporal does the layout and control of the bodies. Parietal does the thinking and the management aspects, and occipital for visual and other areas. But even the control units in the brain, which are the hypothalamus, thalamus, amygdala, pituitary, etc., are all distributed and contributing to the unconscious, subconscious, conscious, and superconscious level functioning in the human being. Therefore, before we emulate the intelligence into the machines and natural intelligence into the machines, we need to understand we need a distributed modular hardware with a distributed modular evolving structure of the software to give strength to that natural intelligence which is in the human being. Next, please. These are my models. We can go further on that. We will see some of the diagrams which are further. We have done some algorithms and flow charts for the development of the body, brain, etc., which may be of greater interest. Next, please. This is the mind modules. As you can see here, perceptual system with unconscious, subconscious, superconscious. There are 16 modules, but there are also further sub-modules. As you can see here, they perform the perceptual function, cognitive functions, motor and memory functions at unconscious, subconscious, conscious, and superconscious level, all part of the natural working system, the brain-mind model on that. Next, please. Next one. This is a model of mind we have developed. I was at one stage thinking we will take up the model development of a brain-like, human brain-mind-like software development in the laboratory. Well, our facilities are not yet to that level, but that was the functional diagram of a brain on that. Coming now further, next. So if we see what we have seen so far, the 4 levels of existence, and brain-mind sense system is a modular evolving system. And whatever we know in the artificial intelligence so far, expert systems, AI, machine learning, our deep learning, genetic algorithms, evolutionary algorithms, augmented reality, natural language processing, etc., they're all emulation of the brain-mind sensory system into the machine. But if we want the future AI to become more human-like, we have to master those areas of human being which we discussed and convert them into the programs for the robots or the artificial human beings, or even for making the genetically developed organs and systems in the labs. Next, please. Next one. We can go to the next. It is consciousness. I have said about it. You understand, and then you can see, read from there and ask me questions. Basically, consciousness is the key which science still does not understand. And consciousness is a 5th dimension of existence. Actually, it is X, Y, Z, T, and beyond that comes the consciousness. It is not a, science needs to jump forward to understand the role of consciousness in human being and emulate into the artificial, biologically developed and re-engineered systems in the body. Next, please. This is one aspect which I want to highlight here is that human body has got 4 levels of bodies: the physical, subtle, causal, supercausal, and programming in the human being and in the human mind takes place for all 4 levels. The physical level, if you see, our digestion system works, our heart beats, our breathing works, all these are the part of the unconscious and subconscious mind modules. But there are conscious activities like thinking, reasoning, logic, etc. And then there are superconscious that you are able to read the future, you are able to perceive danger, and you see beyond. These are the programming aspects of the mind which happened at the causal and supercausal level. And if you want to understand the natural intelligence, we have to understand all. Next, please. Next slide. Yes, this is a Kundalini instrument which I mentioned to you. Previous one, please. Kundalini instrument is like a local area network, as you can see here. The 3 buses, which are the Ida, Pingala, Sushumna, left sympathetic, right sympathetic, and parasympathetic nervous system, equivalent of our data bus, control bus, and address bus in the computer in the von Neumann structure. But these are controlled, these are distributed. They work at unconscious, subconscious, conscious, and superconscious level, which we still need to understand and analyze. And this one, Sestra, works as a gateway as shown in the next diagram on that. Next one, please. This diagram also here shows, this is the gateway. This is basically the wide area network where the bodies, organs, and systems are connected like LAN, as shown in this diagram down below here. The Virat is the creator, and these are the human, and Param Chetan, or the universal conscious energy, is the base for development of the future communication models in the human beings on that. So telepathy, hypnosis, yogic communication, they are all aspects of the supercausal and causal programming in the human body. Next, please. We can move fast. I can. Next, please. Next, please. Yes. So now we can see from whatever we have discussed so far, brain is a model, can be used as a model for hardware. Mind can be used as a model for operating systems. Living systems can be used models for the intelligent limbs, organs, and sensory systems. And other applications can be vibration, which come from the nadis and chakras, and universal conscious energy, which can be used as a telepathy for wireless communication. We can use hypnosis and auto-suggestion as diagnostic tools for the future healthcare, and even our cyber security can be strengthened using the soft biologically oriented tools made on the brain-mind model. Next. These are the models which we had developed when I was planning to develop the mind model in the laboratory. These were the, we had developed these some diagrams, but we could not do it because we couldn't get the facility. But our students can take up any one of these. This is basically the perceptual, this is cognitive system, this is your motor system, memory system, and feedback system, which is coming in the system. And total taken together is a brain-mind working model for normal sensory processing. This is for the hypnosis and telepathy, and this is for the ESP, which can be on that. Next, please. Therefore, coming to the re-engineering of programming, which is aspect from the natural intelligence to the artificial intelligence, we don't have to discuss everything, but point we have to understand is it is the cellular growth from sperm and ovum to the zygote. Cell goes under processing of the transcription and translation and gives birth to the genetic code and chemical pairs, which ultimately define our natural intelligence in the human body. Next, please. This is the structure of the mind we had discussed already in terms of universal, basically unconscious, subconscious, conscious, superconscious. That was the objective of it. And this is something which can be used for telepathy, which we'll see in the next model. Next, please. Next. So these are some of the development models. Next, please. Go to the next state. These are some of the developments. This is a model of the human being. It's an artificial human being developed by the 4 or 5 universities in the USA, where some made fluid systems, some made organs, some made the systems, and even the brain was developed and combined together by the scientist who is standing there. It was converted into a human-like robo, which is a functional robo. Here only the diagram is seen. But important point is that if it has become the human-like, it has to develop the brain-mind-like structure for the controller of the robo and hence for the engineering part. Next. Next, please. This is, in fact, one day I was talking to Saurabh about the rejection of the body organs, and the key to the organ acceptance lies, if you see these diagrams are showing the nadis and chakras over there. Basically, every organ is an intelligent system. It has a sensing capability, it has intelligent processing capability, and it gives an action. And doctors use chemicals to neutralize this processing capability by subduing it so that rejection does not take place. But what I am suggesting is these programs can be made into acceptable to the body structure in such a way rejection will not take place, and it happens through our autonomous nervous system. Therefore, the need is to understand the working of autonomous nervous system and integrate it into our artificial limbs, organs, and body systems so that they can be made acceptable as artificial organs, which could be bioengineered, which could be genetically developed, which could be regenerated for providing services to the accidental or aging or other problems. Next, please. These are some of the artificial organs which are already developed in the laboratory. The Jaipur foot, who know about it, but it's an intelligent lag which can keep making the dancing feasible. This is a bionic eye which has been transplanted in the heart. Here is the skin, here is a kidney, and here is again a amputated part for the leg support. And recently, one IIT group had developed a chair which can be used in place of these sticks. That chair can be used for carrying a disabled person from one end to another. All this is evolving intelligence. But point which I'm trying to highlight is, if we can master the natural intelligence and integrate into the bioengineered components, we can develop human limbs, organs, and systems which can be used to make human beings live a better and more useful life. Next, please. Next. To make all this, what is shown here is it's a brain model which is being developed in the laboratory. Here is an experiment which was done between Trivandrum and France for brain-to-brain communication using the internet. And this is the neuron which has been developed in the lab. Next is the ear which has been developed in the lab. And next to that is the system which is being developed. Therefore, large number of developments of the lab-grown components is already taking place in the laboratories. But the issue is to make these acceptable in the human body, the components have to be given the natural intelligence so that rejection of the component can be taken care of. Next, please. Next again, this is that model of France and Trivandrum, which took the brain to mind integration through internet. This is now we coming to the Param Chaitanya, or the universal conscious energy, energy and consciousness. Brain radiates into the various alpha, beta, gamma waves, and these waves can be used with a suitable modulation for communication from brain to brain, and hence pave path for the telepathy, which can be used without wireless radiation. That means the dangers of EMF, which were discussed by the Ghaziabad Center a few days back, can be reduced if we develop brain-to-brain communication using telepathy. And it may be necessary one day when the physical networks will be destroyed by the wars, then only the brain-to-brain communication will be the tool used by human beings to communicate with each other. Further, please. Next. This is the same thing. It is a little more. Next one, please. It is only the depth layer. Next, please. Next. Now, next again. Here are some of the algorithms and flowcharts. Now, here is the events which take place in the growth of a human body. From a single cell zygote, which is like a cell and genetic code, it evolves into a human being. We have developed some algorithms and models for it. Next one, please. Here is first the development of the cell, the atom, the molecule, develop cell into it, and here algorithm which tried using basically the chemical components, nucleotides, etc. And here is the flow chart where the chemicals have been combined to give the components of the cell, finally DNA, genes, chromatin, and the cell. And that is a very macro level model chart. There is a micro level also, but then that requires a very huge number of slides, which can be done. If required at any stage, any student is interested, we can always discuss that. Next, please. This is again events in a cellular modification. This is mitosis, which is a cell division process. On the right side is the meiosis, in which the stem cell is produced. And stem cells are master cells which can be converted into any human organ by suitably re-engineering in the laboratory. The scientists are already trying the regeneration process of organs on that. Next, please. Next. Here is for the translation and transcription, two major events. This shows when the genetic code, is the DNA is broken into two parts, and mRNA carries those genetic code instructions, the chemicals. It's like a factory running, you know. If you, on YouTube some years back, there was a good, they had removed it. I could not copy it, but YouTube had a wonderful, it looks like a factory running, where the genes are developing components and organs and being shown. So this translation transcription flow chart, which is shown here, is basically the activity which is going on in the cell growth, which is basically the evolution of the cell from one cell to another cell, etc. Next, please.
So we are having few questions for the speakers in the chat box.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, we are already at time also. So
I have no problem. Organizers have to see.
Sir, it's just that we are about to wind this session because we are already going beyond the time, like as it was scheduled for 45.
Let us go through. You can keep asking me questions. My number is available to you. You are always welcome to send. Okay. Somebody's mic is on. Okay. Now this is the basically events in the birth of a human cell. This is the algorithm for the birth of the human cell. This is the flow chart for the birth of the human cell. All these were done when I was making studies of the human brain-mind system. I was wanting to develop it in the laboratory, but somehow it has not happened. But maybe I will again try, if possible, to develop it into the real-time system. Next, please. Next one. Here is the event in the growth of the human being from single cell to the full-grown being. Go to the next one, please. This is these are the events, and this is the flow chart for the development of the body and organs in the body. And there is also algorithm for it, but that is into number of pages, so I have not put it here, but I have only shown the flow chart for you, which we had used. And there can be sub-flow charts which we have used in the if you are interested, I have a book called ROS, Auto Regenerative Operating System, in which some of these are explained. I'll send a copy of it to Saurabh, and he can distribute it to the children on that. Next one. Next, please. So now, computer point of view, this is your waterfall method. And waterfall system is actually the father of all your 4G object-oriented and 5G programming, but therefore I kept only the water. I still think steps of the waterfall model are needed in all advanced programming. This is the levels of bodies, and this is type of programming which is needed in a human being if you want to emulate the human intelligence into the artificial system. So this is from a computer point of view, it is summing up what a computer scientist needs to understand to translate those flowcharts and algorithms into the real life working model. Next, please. This is one for the cyber security. We all know about our digital environment, particularly in the case of cloud. This is a great feature risk. On that, if you go to the next, you can apply in this the digital environment. You can apply the biological model onto the security system to develop a software-oriented biological tool for cyber security.
Hello, hello, sir.
Yeah.
Sir, I have a question.
Sure, ask.
Actually, we are short of time. We can share the contact number of Professor Sharma to our whole valuable audience, and they can give their questions telephonically to Sharma also, because we are shortage of the time. Right? So I request the audience to ask the questions telephonically, and we will share his number to all. So thank you very much, sir. Thank you.
Okay, next slide, please.
But we can wind perhaps.
Yes, it was 3 slides more only, sir. This is basically the soft biologically oriented tool. Idea is that human intelligence can be emulated as intelligence threat identification, decision support systems, database, and cognitive processing, and finally, countermeasures for the cyber threat. So this model can be converted into a cyber security model on that. Next, please. What basically is coming further is there are some issues. You see, the days, as Professor Vyas was mentioning, when we were working in 80s at the time, I was trying to tell everybody we should continue development
Some
of
interruption. Some
Indian.
interruption is there. Some interruption. Some
Somebody's
noise is there.
mic is on. My mic is off. Somebody's mic is probably on. Okay. So basically the issues now left are 3 things only, that we in India gave up our indigenous development of components and materials because cheaper ones are available from Korea and outside, and our leadership at that time thought better take from outside rather than the inside. So I remember Continental Device, ECIL, they all were doing very good development in materials and components. But luckily, our DRDO and ISRO had continued to develop their own hardware, components, systems, chips, etc., because of which our defense systems and space systems are not affected by the outside embargoes, but other areas can get affected by the embargo. Therefore, the need is that our students should try to emulate the natural intelligence into artificial intelligence and help in developing the lab models for future generations so that, like the recent example we had of blocking of 200 odd apps of Chinese origin, maybe one day complete servers, which we don't have servers in India. All servers are outside in US, Europe, etc. On that, China has some servers of their own, but I don't think we still have some worthwhile servers of our own. But we need to develop the capability that in case tomorrow the networks are destroyed, the systems are destroyed, we have our indigenous systems is still working and developing. And my objective of discussing computers cognition with everyone today is that time has come. India should take lead, stand on your own feet, and become our own masters, at least in a field which is world recognized, that human capability in computers and information technology.
Sir,
Beyond
we
that,
have
you all
a
understand.
yes, sir. Sir, we have a question in the chat box for you. Like, as AI is growing at a tremendous rate, so there may be any chances that it will make people paralyzed in future. Like, as we don't need to move for
It
most of
can,
our
it
works. Like,
can.
yeah,
In fact, one slide which further says IoT.
yes, sir.
Basically, the moment human beings get integrated to the networks like machines, anybody can play with your intelligence system, with your body, with your environment, and can affect your organs. Just to give you insight, KGB, which was the Russian intelligence, used to take body samples of people who were the world leaders of the urine, blood, etc., to map those so that to find out what can be used to harm those leaders at critical points. Now, when we get connected to the IoT and globally interconnected, our systems, our weaknesses, our strengths will be known to everybody and can be exploited. That is not unfounded.
Okay,
Any
thank
other?
you so much, sir. Chirag, do you have any more questions to ask or any follow-up?
But we will
I
share the telephone number to everybody and they can ask telephonically the questions. They can clear their doubt.
Yes,
yeah, that's
most
totally
welcome.
great.
You are
We
my
can.
colleague, you are my deal. Most of my lectures you can find on the YouTube also. If you listen to that, many of things will be clarified.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you.
Okay, yeah, so we can drop all the contact details from like sir, so that they can ask their
Most
questions
welcome.
via email. Yeah.
Yes, you are welcome.
Okay. Thank you so much, sir, for your insightful words. We have learned a lot from you and your experience that you have gained in the past 50 plus years. So now I guess it's the time when we can conclude this ceremony. Like we can to proceed towards the
My side,
concluding.
thank you very much. God bless all. Jai Hind, Jai Bharat.
Sorry, sir, would you mind repeating it?
No, I said from my side, whatever slides are left further, I have concluded that already in the issues and views, and basically from my side, you can complete it.
Okay, okay. Thank you so much, sir. And also, Saurabh sir has also dropped a website link where you can connect with all the speakers and you can get your doubts clarified. So now I guess we can proceed towards the concluding ceremony. So I would request Dr. Vinita Khimchandi ma'am, the Honey Treasurer of Ghaziabad chapter, to share the concluding remarks for the event. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank, thank you very much. I believe I am audible.
Yes,
Yeah,
ma'am.
ma'am.
We can hear you.
Thank you. Honorable Patron Mr. Saurabh Agarwal sir, respected Chairman Professor R.P.S. Tomar sir, our most valued invited guest of the days, and other members of Management Committee CSI Ghaziabad chapter and participants from GIMS. I feel privileged to propose the vote of thanks on today's session of our webinar series on computer cognition and future of AI. I, on behalf of CSI Ghaziabad chapter, GIMS, and my own behalf, would like to express my sincere thanks to our chapter patron, Mr. Saurabh Agarwal sir, who is also one of the guests of honor of today's session. He has always been a guiding force for all of us, and under his direction, we have achieved many milestones. I also wish to express my gratitude to our chairman, Professor R.P.S. Tomar sir, and under his leadership, the chapter has organized maximum number of activities till days to serve the student society and other professionals. Most importantly, a very big thanks to Professor H.S. Sharma, Vice Chancellor, Himalayan University, for putting an insight to a very relevant knowledge area of today's scenario. Sir, it really touched me, this topic, the knowledge really touched me. And I'm very happy to inform that we at JSS Academy of Technical Education, Noida, are performing so many research in this area with DRDO New Delhi in MES. So we are using all these for developing the solutions in cognitive profiling and AR. So really it has given me the real incitement, sir. And I would like to really acknowledge all the participants without whom the event would not been a success. Last but not the least, I'm very delighted to express my sincere thanks to today's chief guest, Mr. R.K. Vyas sir, the President, Computer Society of India, today's guest of honor, Mr. Arvind Sharma, Regional Vice President, Region 1, Computer Society of India, for giving their consent and gracing the event and putting some insight in the topic. Once again, a very big thank you for to all the participants for the active participation. So this is all over from my side. Once again, I thank you all the everyone present here.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you very
Thank you,
much.
ma'am. Thank you so much, H.S. Sharma sir. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you, Saurabh sir. Thank you, Tomar sir, also for coming. And thank you, Vyas sir, for coming and enlightening and inaugurating the webinar series for today. I guess it's the time now we can end this session. Thank you, everyone, for attending and learning with us. To see you all again. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye. Thanks a lot.
Bye.
Thank you very much. God bless you all.